All right, politics is a tool and a science that is crafted by man, but for the development of our society. When used rightly by good, or would I say good political actors, it fosters social economic development. But when used negatively, it creates disruption, disunity, marginalization, and of course, backwardness in our society. Again, I say welcome to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, Kike, and of course, I'm with the Real Talkers. Oh gosh, guys, we've been having a lot of fun before coming live. You know, I think it's like our bonding time. I love it. And the fact that Lolo will be going, you know, let me put, oh gosh, Kike, they can't even tell you things. You just run your mouth.
You said it already. So
where am I going? Actually?
Where is she going?
Where is she going? Left to be known. Welcome to your favorite lunch hour show, The Real Talk with Kike show on STV. We are seated, and what we're discussing today is really going to be hot. So you need to get your thinking cap on and be a part of the show. My name is Omotune Adewale David, aka Lolo One. Welcome.
This hot you guys are talking of. Now the viewers will be expecting some ladies gist or something like that. You know, hot. Yeah, but really it's going to be interesting, very interesting. My name is Marshall Anthony Onoya. It's RTWK show, and what more should I say? But that the fact that the two ladies I'm here with are looking very palatable and delectable. You've said black is beautiful, and I agree.
Yeah.
And Kike, the lady who doesn't know what she's still doing in Nigeria.
And she's channeling some nice African attire. But Kike can be a fashionista, you know, sometimes.
This was given to me by my godmother, Bola Adeshola. So sometimes when I just want to connect with her in spirit, I just try to swing it on my album.
What about Mango? How you connect with Mango in spirit?
Of course, yes, mate! Yes, and of course I'm representing Mango from my footwear to my spaghetti dress, and of course to my suit. Guys, enough of fashion right now. We have serious conversation out there. And let's start by our this day history segment. Exactly 3 years ago, Senator Dino Melaye reacted to this shocking loss as one of the governorship election primaries of the People Democratic Party, that's PDP. I think it's better for us to get his reaction from our This Day in History segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
3 years ago, Senator Dino Melaye reacted to his shocking loss at Wednesday's governorship election primaries of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, ahead of the November 16 governorship election in Kogi State. Musa Wada, a younger brother of the immediate past governor, Idris Wada, who also contested for the ticket, scored 748 votes, emerging as the winner. Wada was closely followed by Abubakar Mohammed Ibrahim, the son of former governor Ibrahim Idris Ibro, with 710 votes. Melaye, who surprisingly pulled just 70 votes, says it is ridiculous to declare a winner from just 2 out of 10 ballot boxes.
All right, many thanks for staying with us. You know, thinking about this on this day in history segment, I know that Dino Melaye is a funny personality, an interesting personality. Let me put it like that. But quickly, Lolo, let me come to you. What's your take with this on this day in history segment, Lolo?
Honestly, I don't know what the intention is, but it's something to laugh about. Really, it's very comic. And Dino Melaye, funny enough, I call him a very happy-go-lucky person. He's somebody that lives in the moment. Funny enough, he has many bad sides, he has many good sides also, because he doesn't take things to heart that much, because he will find a funny way
to politicians don't take things to heart.
Yes, but that's the problem. A lot of people forget that after politics, these people are still friends. They are still business partners. It is we on the outside that now form camps and begin to attack one another, but it's not necessary. But as far as I'm concerned, people won the election and he lost, even though he felt it was unbelievable. But history recorded it as a loss.
With how many votes?
Well, I expected him to release a track with that, with losing that election.
Yes.
And of course, if he hadn't reacted, what would people say? He had supporters. Those supporters did not translate into, votes eventually. I expected a track from that one. Dino Milai, you form my hand.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to say I expected any track because we are bringing him on this platform soon. So let me try and hold my breath before Dino Milai will refer to this segment and say, Kike, you said so. But it's an interesting personality, and just like what Lolo said, he's a jolly good fellow, and that side is something that I reckon with. And the fact that politicians of today do not actually give transparency and accountability, regardless of however you look at Dino Milai, is somebody that will say it as it is, regardless of the outcome or how the public will react to it. Do you understand? And I think that that's what makes us human, and that is why I feel that in everything that we do, regardless of the position or the public office that we hold, we must continually put emotional intelligence and understanding that people have the right to certain reactions. So basically, I think maybe he shouldn't change who he is. Well,
he can't even change.
He's
a fun guy.
Oh my God! Right, it's time for a quick message from our sponsors. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. On Real Talk with Kike today, politics maintains the front role of our discussion as we examine the latest stories in the political terrain of Nigeria, a country just 5 months away from our general elections. One of the prominent political parties, Labour Party, has constituted a diaspora committee to solicit or mobilize funds from eager Nigerians living abroad, as reported by the Nigerian press, to support that of what Peter Obi have called presidential campaign. And this diaspora crowdfunding is said to be unveiled by a major campaign leader and political economist. That's Professor Patti told me. However, I think the core of this issue is that the Nigerian's constitution also forbids, I stand to be corrected, the possessions of funds by any candidate, or would I say political party, from abroad. And I want to back my points from section 225 of the Constitution, 225 of the Constitution, that provides that every political party shall submit to the Independent National Electronic Commission a detailed annual statement, and of course the analysis of its sources of funds and other assets, together with a similar statement of its expenditure in such a form as that the Commission may require. However, on the show today, guys, we have the right guests to speak authoritatively on the election affairs and of course the INEC regulation in context with the provision of the Nigerian constitution. Let's get his profile quickly, and he will join us via our Zoom line. Stay with us, we'll be right back. All right, many thanks again for staying with us. Again, welcome to the show, Dr. Festus Okoye. It's a pleasure to have you on the platform today. And again, let me use this opportunity to say many thanks for always honoring my invite. I do not take this for granted. But how are you doing today, sir?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty well.
All right, good one. Let's go straight to the topic at hand. You had the INEC chairman for information and, of course, for voters' education. I want you to speak authoritatively, maybe a word or two. Can INEC or will INEC disqualify the likes of, let me use Peter Obi as an example right now, or any other candidate, so to speak, based on crowdfunding, crowdfunding indictments? What are the implications on ground regarding this?
Well, every association in Nigeria that wants to transmute or transform into a political party must satisfy qualifying constitutional and legal criteria and threshold before such a political party can be registered. Such an association can be registered as a political party. Now, the same association, after having been registered as a political party, must continue to satisfy those qualifying criteria. If it does not satisfy those qualifying criteria, under Section 225A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission can deregister such a political party. Now, if you look at Section 221 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for instance, it makes it very clear that no association other than a political party shall canvass for votes for any candidate at any election or contribute to the funds of any political party or to the election expenses of any candidate at any election. Now, Section 222 of the same Constitution goes further to prescribe what a political party must satisfy in order to be registered as a political party. One, the said association must submit to the Independent National Electoral Commission the names and addresses of its national officers. Two, it must also have a membership that cuts across ethnic, religious, and other divides in the country. Three, a copy of his constitution must also be registered in the office of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Four, if there's any alteration to the constitution of the party must also register such alteration with the Independent National Electoral Commission. Five, the symbol and the name of the association must not have any
We're trying to reconnect with him with all that he has shared thus far. Lolo, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
What's your take with all these constitutional provisions that he has stated out there? And do you think that even the so-called candidates actually even understand how this law should guide them in relating to all this?
Oh, I think.
Are you there, sir?
I'm here.
Okay,
oh, okay.
Are you there, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, sir. Let me quickly ask you this, because of all the constitutional provision that you have stated, I don't think I heard when you mentioned Section 225, subsection 4 of the Constitution that requires that funds or other assets be remitted or sent to a political party from outside Nigeria and shall be paid over or transferred to the Independent National Electoral Commission, that's INEC, within 21 days. Sir, I must ask you, this section gives room for foreign contributions. How does it now conflict with law that is prohibiting crowdfunding from diaspora?
No, let me say this, because I want us to separate the two issues. We need to separate the conditions for the registration of a political party as a political party from the conditions for the registration of a political party. Now, there are three issues involved in raising funds for a political party. One, there's the issue of raising funds by the party itself. There's the issue of raising funds by the candidate himself or herself. 3, there's the issue of individuals who are members of the political party raising funds for that particular political party. And 5, 4, there's the issue of members of the public contributing to the finances or to the expenditure of a political party. These are different issues. Each of the registered political parties has adumbrated in its constitution and its framework how it can source for funds. However, Section 225 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria regulates the issue relating to foreign funds for political parties. Section 225 subsection 2 of the Constitution provides that, and I'm quoting, it says, every political party shall submit to the Independent National Electoral Commission a detailed annual statement and analysis of its sources of funds and other assets, together with a similar statement of its expenditure in such form as the Commission may require. And then subsection 3 provides, and I quote, it says,
I want to believe that he will join us again. You know, the beautiful thing about the Constitution that it is subject to interpretation. You can see the way our guest was analyzing. He's talking about how these things can be broken into 3, where they can source for funds. He's talking about when they want to register the party, either the political party itself raising funds, or the candidate themselves raising funds, or members of the party raising funds for the candidate.
Okay, I understand this back. Are you there, sir?
I'm here.
All right, sir.
Go ahead.
You were talking about subsection 3 of 225, sir. You want to
yes,
from that side?
Yes, I said that subsection 3 provides that no political party, the emphasis here for the basis of our discussion, for the basis of this segment of our discussion, is on the political party. It says no political party shall hold or possess any funds or other assets outside Nigeria, or be entitled to retain any funds or assets remitted or sent to it from outside Nigeria. Here, the emphasis here is on the political party, that it cannot receive or maintain assets or funds outside the shores of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
If we are focusing on if that aspect of the Constitution or the Electoral Act is restricting political parties from possessing or soliciting funds in diaspora or from the abroad, it doesn't say anything about the candidate himself or herself soliciting the funds or possessing this fund, and that seemed to me to be what Peter Obi is doing. It doesn't appear to me that it is Labour Party that is soliciting the funds, but Peter Obi. Do you have any clarity on that, sir?
I don't have the permission or authority of the commission to discuss any candidate as of today. I have the permission of the commission to talk about the provisions of the law relating to foreign funding. Now, if you look at section 88 of the Constitution of the Electoral Act 2022, section 8 talks about the election expenses of candidates and also the election expenses of political parties. How much a political party is entitled to spend, how much a political party, a candidate is entitled to spend, and how much a candidate is not entitled to spend. And you also know that it is not only the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that regulates maintenance of accounts and funds outside the country. There are laws relating to ICPC, laws relating to EFCC, money laundering laws and others that restrict some form of funding for any activity whatsoever. So I believe that the various political parties are aware of these provisions of the law and the provisions of the Constitution, because Section 85 of the Electoral Act 2022 prescribes very stiff penalty for any violation of issues relating to retaining funds or other assets remitted from outside the country.
Thank you very much, sir. Looking at all the provisions of the law, and I know that law is subject to interpretation. That means that that is what the law courts are for, to be able to interpret some of the laws that are at hand. I want to know, basically, while we're preparing for elections, how much of maybe enlightenment have the political parties been put to understand some of the basic provisions of these constitutions? Were there any integration or any maybe seminars or workshops held to be able to help them interpret or understand some provisions of this constitution so that they are not in violation of it?
Now, you know that in Nigeria, we don't have independent candidature, and that all the members of the National Assembly, including the Senate and the House of Representatives and the state assemblies, are members of political parties. So the law we are looking at are the laws made by these individuals and the laws given to them by the Nigerian people. So the presumption is that they should have a very clear knowledge of the laws that they have given to the Nigerian people. So I believe that it is the Nigerian people that need education and not those who made the law. The Electoral Act 2022 just came out, and it is the law of the National Assembly. So I do not, and every member of the National Assembly belongs to one political party or the other. So I think that they're the ones who ought to be educating us on the basic tenets of the law, the provisions of the law, and the challenges associated with the law, and not the other way around. But I believe that the membership of the party deserves to have some basic knowledge of what the issues are, so that they don't fall prey to the tenets of the law, and then they begin to claim ignorance of the law, which in law is not an excuse. And so I agree with you that we should have some basic knowledge of the law, and that seminars and workshops should be organized for members of the various political parties and the other stakeholders.
All right, many thanks for your submission thus far. But I must ask you this, because with everything that you have shared, breaking down the constitutional provision regarding funding and the likes, I feel that Section 88 sub 2 of the Electoral Act that limits spending by a presidential candidate to I think 5 billion. However, if the crowdfunding pulls through, sir, it would raise about $150 million, such, and I think that, which is approximately 75 billion naira. How do we reconcile this, if I may ask?
Well, you see, I will not be here and engage in speculation. We act on the basis of solid and concrete evidence. Now, you must understand that our electoral system and our electoral processes and procedures revolve around political parties. It is the political parties that are given the mandate and the leeway and the window to carry out campaigns. It is the political parties that are given the leeway to raise funds on behalf of their candidates. So the buck stops at the doorstep of the leadership of the political parties. Now, after elections, every registered political party must submit its expenditure, its sources of income and its sources of expenditure, and its expenditure to the Independent National Electoral Commission. The candidates in the election are also under a legal and constitutional obligation to submit same to the Independent National Electoral Commission. And if, in analyzing what they have submitted, the Commission comes to the conclusion that a prima facie case of electoral infraction has been detected, definitely the Commission will proceed against such an individual or against such a political party. So I think it's too early in the day for us to begin to speculate whether any funds has been received by an individual or by a candidate or by a political party. If any prima facie case of infraction is established, the Commission will definitely proceed against such a political party.
Submission right there. We'll go on a quick break and get a word from our sponsors. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Very glad to know you're still with us. In case you just joined the show, today's conversation is about the constitutional clause concerning crowdfunding and diaspora financing political candidates towards elections, and why some have held or have had or have held rather legal opinions on its prohibitions. Some have said that it is allowed. So with us is discussing this interesting topic. He is the chairman, Information and Voters Education of INEC. That is Dr. Festus Okoye himself. And I must say many thanks for all your clarification submission thus far. But quickly, before we go further in this conversation, I think it's important for me to quickly open our phone lines. And for those who are listening to us right now, remember, you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 08098877400 showing on your screen right now. Remember also that we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube page, both on Silverbird platform and on Real Talk with Kike. Sir, I must say many thanks for all your submission again thus far. It's very enlightening and educating. But there is an antecedent that I would like to make reference to right now, because prior to 2015 general election, this current administration, Buhari-led administration, was financially empowered from diaspora contribution. Again, I stand to be corrected because I saw this online. In fact, there was no investigation of some sort at the time and no indictment. So I'm shocked that, you know, such can be coming from the same party who have once upon a time benefited from the same circumstances, so to speak. How different is this case and the matter at hand, so to speak?
Well, I'm not privy to the information which you alluded to. But all I know is that the operative legal framework as of today is the Electoral Act 2022. Now, under the Electoral Act 2022, if you look more specifically at Section 88 of the Electoral Act 2022, it provides that the maximum election expenses to be incurred by a candidate at a presidential election shall not exceed 5 billion. That was not the issue in 2015, and it was not the issue in 2019. Now, if you go further, Section 88, subsection 8 of the same Electoral Act provides that it says no individual or other entity shall donate to a candidate more than 50 million naira. In all these places, the emphasis here is on Nigerian currency. It did not say no individual can donate to a candidate more than 50,000 pounds or 5,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds. And all these donations must be in Nigerian currency. And I think that is what the law is emphasizing. There is no place in the law that the law says that a Nigerian should not donate money to a presidential candidate. But it says that no money, such money should not be remitted from outside the country in relation to a political party. So it is left for legal practitioners and other individuals and for other political parties to make a determination and interpret or even go to
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Marshall, do you want to take it on from here?
Yeah, I just wish he will get back on time. You know, my concern is, I mean, it doesn't make sense how you, how the Constitution is talking about how you would restrict funding from the abroad and not talk about how people in public offices spend public money to get themselves elected into power. Are you live to us? Are you live to us, sir? Yes, sir. I was just sharing with my colleagues here that I have a little concern about this section of the Constitution or the Electoral Act that speaks about refraining or constricting people from, restricting people from possessing funds or parties from possessing funds from the abroad. Whereas it says little or nothing about public office holders or politicians who are in government position that spend from the government coffers to get themselves elected into power. Is there anything of that sort within that constitutional framework?
Well, as I pointed out, this law was made by politicians. It was not made by ordinary individuals. The only thing individuals were permitted to do is to go to public hearings and make their own proposals and make their own submissions and make their own recommendations. But ultimately, it was the members of the National Assembly in the Senate and the House of Representatives and the President himself, who is authorized to give assent, that brought into being this particular law. So the political parties and the politicians in the houses, they understand what they do. And this is a law they have made and said that this is the law that will guide issues relating to elections and political party funding. And you will agree with me that it is important for us to pay attention to the way our political parties are funded and the sources from which our political parties receive funds. And the makers of the law, in their own wisdom, have restricted political parties from having funds outside the country or even having access outside the country, and has also restricted people donating to them from outside the country.
Listening to you, with what came to mind after Marshall asked you the question earlier was the fact that most African countries allow their diaspora to vote. Ghana, Kenya, and others are allowed to vote as long as you have registered in some platform or the other. In Nigeria, they can't vote, and a lot of Nigerians are excluded from their democracy, so to speak. Why has INEC cut off Nigerians in diaspora? I must ask you this question, sir.
Well, you see, the remit and the mandate of the Independent National Electoral Commission is to organize, undertake, and supervise elections. The mandate of the National Assembly and the state assemblies and the mandate of the president and the state assemblies is to bring into being the electoral legal framework for the conduct of elections, which the president is also obligated to give assent to. Now, Section 47 of the Electoral Act 2022 is very clear. And it says a person intending to vote in an election shall present himself with his voter's card to a presiding officer for accreditation at the polling unit in the constituency in which his name is registered. So if the politicians who are in the National Assembly feel that the time is right for people in diaspora to vote, it is within their remit, it is within their mandate and their constitutional right to also amend the electoral legal framework to give qualifying criteria to people in diaspora to vote. The moment the law is amended, definitely the Independent National Electoral Commission will find the ways and the means of accommodating voting by people in diaspora. But Kike, one mistake which most Nigerians make is that when they are talking about people in diaspora, they are talking about people in the US, they are talking about people in the UK, they are talking about people in Germany, forgetting that people in Benin Republic, those in Chad, those in Niger, and those in Sudan are also in diaspora. And so I think that when we are talking about diaspora voting, we must also incorporate these, our brothers and sisters who are in Niger, in Benin Republic, and in Chad, as persons who are also in diaspora, so that when we are making laws, we can also accommodate them and not limit diaspora voting to just people in the US and in the UK.
Thank you so much, sir. We've been talking about this diaspora crowdfunding and everything, and you talked about political parties must submit how they spent all the funds that they generated and all that. And we know that in Nigeria, one of our biggest issues is accountability. And we have a lot of rigmaroles and a lot of circumventing of the law. What would you say INEC has done differently this year to be able to really checkmate any discrepancies when it comes to the funds that the political parties raise or that they use for elections?
My sister, you will agree with me that tracking illicit funding is a very, very difficult venture. We have been collaborating with the ICPC and with the EFCC in terms of trying to track illicit funds that go on during a campaign period and also that are used during the election period. But as I pointed out, there is a limit to what the Independent National Electoral Commission can do in terms of monitoring or policing illicit funding for elections and campaigns. And that is why the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, went to the National Assembly during the hearing on a bill for the creation of an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal and canvassed the position that the time has come, that the time is right, that the time is now for us to have an Electoral Offences Commission and Tribunal that will ab initio from the beginning take control of the arrest, investigation and prosecution of electoral offenders.
All right. Many thanks for that. Apologies, I have to interrupt your line of thoughts. We have Godfrey from Edo State. I had to keep him waiting for a while. Godfrey, please go straight to the topic at hand. Many thanks for calling. Yeah, Godfrey, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. One thing that I'm hearing the INS chairman talking, and to me, I see no truth in what he's saying. Because once you see a good leader that you see that will help everybody, they try to bring their this, that, cause confusion, and that.
I'm not sure if I could get all your words carefully. Please, when people are calling, try to reduce the volume of your TV set and listen to us, not the TV. Sir, when Lolo asked you the last question, are you there, sir?
I'm here, yeah.
All right. INEC has said point blank that there will only be manual collation of votes. Nigerians want to know what happens to electronic transmission of votes that countries like Kenya just successfully succeeded in their own election. Can you throw more light on that?
No, I think that the Commission has clarified the position of the law, both in Ekiti governorship election and in Osun governorship election. The Independent National Electoral Commission transmitted polling unit level results into our INEC result viewing portal. Everybody saw how the results were coming in, and Nigerians were following the results as they were coming in real time. For the 2023 general election, the Independent National Electoral Commission will transmit polling unit level results into our result viewing portal for every Nigerian to see what is going on or what has gone on in every polling unit. And as you know, for the 2023 general election, we are going to be transmitting polling unit level results from 176,846 polling units. And we will continue to do this. The mistake people are making is to equate the transmission of polling unit level results with the issue of collation of results, with the issue of tabulation of results. That is what we call result management. In result management, we are going to use three modes in result management. There's going to be the polling unit level results as signed and stamped by the presiding officer and as countersigned by the pool of political party agents. There's also going to be the accreditation data from the beavers, and then there's going to be from EC8A, that is the polling unit level result, as electronically transmitted into our result viewing portal. These are the three things that form the basis of result management during the 2023 general election, and we are not going to depart from what we did in Ekiti and in Osun State. And so that is it. We will continue to transmit polling unit level results into our result viewing portal for all Nigerians to see. And we are also going to continue with our result management as we carried out in Ekiti and Osun governorship elections.
I hear you clearly. I hear the information, the person handling the information for INEC so far on the show, sir. I hear little from Dr. Festus Okoye himself. And in answering my next question, I really like to hear appeal to your person, and rather than the information officer that you are, sir. So much has been said about restriction of funds, and I really want us to face that. Nigerians have come out en masse this time around, and they seem to be clamoring, whether it is online or on ground, they seem to be clamoring a lot for one candidate, I must say, in terms of their donations and contributions. We've seen Nigerians online say that they're donating their property for designating as one political party's secretariat and all of that. Some donate their cars and all of that. Is there any restriction if these funds are put together and Nigerians themselves seem to be spending it for the promotion of one man and not the candidate himself, you know, in possession of the fund? Is there any restriction from INEC? I want to hear from you.
My position as a lawyer is that every Nigerian is entitled to freedom of association and also entitled to freedom of opinion. Nothing prevents an individual from going on television to go and promote the candidature of an individual. But in terms of contributing to the election expenses of a political party, the law has made a restriction. But nothing prevents you from painting your car and then moving up and down, saying that you are promoting the ideals or the principles or ideology of a political party. But if you are promoting a political party, you must also observe the restrictions relating to political campaigns, because there are laws guiding political campaigns, there are regulations guiding political rallies and political campaigns. And so if you are promoting the candidature of a political party or a candidate, you must also observe the tenets of the law and abide by what the law says in relation to political rallies, in relation to campaigns, in relation to funding, and also in relation to some other things. Anything outside that may likely be in the realm of your fundamental right, but you must observe the law. You must pay attention to the law, and nobody, I repeat, nobody will be allowed to break the law, and nobody will be allowed to operate outside the law, because political parties are legal entities guided by law, and the candidates are candidates of political parties.
Many thanks again for joining us via the Zoom line, and I must say it's been an interesting time with you on the Real Talk show this lunch hour. But before we let you go, sir, let's discuss some of the trending stories that affect us all, that binds us together as Nigerians, not just those people in the diaspora. This is Tiwa. Let me go down to my own language, so to speak. All right, the first trending story that caught our attention is that of Liz Truss to replace Boris Johnson as the Prime Minister of Britain. I know that we are talking about people in diaspora right now. I feel that what has happened to Liz Truss is something that we must bring to fore, knowing that we are talking about quite a number of things that affect us from diaspora. Quickly, Marshall, let me take your take. What's your take on this story before I come to our guest?
Well, amazingly, what I'm taking away from Liz Truss's would I say, enthronement as the Prime Minister here is her youthfulness. You know, this is someone who studied here. She studied economics and politics yeah, as well. And she seems to be saying so much, reeling out so much about the reform to the UK economy. And then to think that she's just 47. You know, it goes to say that there is a wind of youthfulness that is blowing across the globe, not just across African countries, because we've seen what happened in Kenya, we've seen what happened in other African countries that held elections recently, but we're seeing it happen in the United Kingdom. See the age disparity between Boris Johnson, who is outgoing, and then Liz Truss, who is coming in. I mean, it gives us hope, and it also makes us to reflect back. 2023 is around the corner. Do we want that to be our story as well? That we see someone who is very youthful elected into office in 2023?
All right, Marshall, I hear you. And I think when you talk about the youthfulness, okay, I think first off, let me say congratulations to Elizabeth Truss. That's her full name. And I'm happy and I align with the achievement of her political career as a woman. And more importantly, I feel that, you know, a woman becoming the third ever Prime Minister of UK, one of the biggest economists in Nigeria, or in the world, so to speak, today. And I feel that Truss and Boris Johnson will travel to, I think, Balmoral in Scotland together for Boris Johnson to take his leave, you know, and for Truss to receive the Queen's authority from a government in line with the UK unwritten constitution, so to speak, especially when it comes to the Queen's role as the head of government. So for me, this is a morale booster, so to speak, for me as a woman. And I think there's also a challenge for Nigerian politics, if I take from the little that you've just shared about Africans. And I feel that over there, no hard feelings, Marshall. The next administration is willing to work and build on the previous administration legacy. Exactly. But the previous ones, you know, are ready to either either support you one way or the other, the new person that is coming into power. But in Nigeria, no, gosh, all the games you play today, and know that in terms of antagonism, so to speak, sentiments, discrediting one another instead of unifying ourselves for the common good and the common goal of our country, for us to benefit together as Nigerians. It's so sad that we do not come together and be on the table to say that how do we move forward from here in terms of quite a number of disunity and disconnection or discontinuity between administration that is there now and the administration that is the incoming administration. So every administration, if you ask me, wants to actually, you know, prove a point or the other in Nigeria. I can do better. This previous administration is not good enough, and the lies, blah blah blah. I'm the one that is good. You know, name it. There are a lot of I feel real issues, if you ask me, facing Nigerians today. You know, in terms of our coming leaders to actually take a cue from this and prepare themselves, you know, for the next coming administration. The current administration should be willing to help the coming administration. And I feel, yes, exactly. And I feel that is what has brought us to the condition we are in today. When you see that there's no continuity, there's no transparency, there's no support whatsoever from the present administration and the new coming one. I just wish that all the change, all the swift change, the rapid change that we are seeing globally in other African countries, that Nigeria can actually come together and try to take a cue from it instead of us trying to. Quickly, sir, what's your take on it as the INEC chairman in terms of the change that we are talking?
Well, I think that change. Every country must arrive at democracy based on its own history and based on its own values, and also based on its own culture and based on its own given precedent. I believe that we are making progress. Our electoral process is improving. The technology has been inbuilt into our electoral process, and people are having more confidence in the electoral process and the ability of the Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct free, fair, transparent, and peaceful election. And so I believe that we are making steady progress, and we will get there sooner than later.
I'm very excited the fact that we're no longer looking at women as gender. We're looking at capability. Yes. Enough of the time that, yes, that we have to be over-celebrating because a woman was chosen. We're talking about a competent individual chosen, regardless of gender. That is my joy. And you know, if we can see it happen in the UK, we now know that capacity sometimes and capability and competence has nothing to do with age. If we get it in a younger generation, it gives more longevity for us to be able to buy into the new generation and still, you know, take a little bit from experience from the old. Gone are those days that I want women to be, you know, they have to treat us like, oh, it's a woman. Yes, we are finally giving you a platform. No, I don't want it to be like that. I'm not just celebrating Liz Drost because she's a woman. That is a competent individual that has been, you know, elected. And that's what I celebrate. All right. Many thanks, Lolo, for your passion right there. Quickly, let's touch on this in 3 minutes. You know, this story is very dear to me. I'm sure you all know. It's the second trending story of the traveler that threatens to sue fan over near-death experience. Marshall, I don't know if you want to touch on it in 1 minute before I give my submission. What's your take on this?
Well, I think she should just go ahead and yeah, because one dilapidation too many, you know, her life was, I mean, at stake there on that faulty escalator. It should have been put out. This is just, we've seen several instruments and installations of infrastructure that have been dilapidated and left to run. That is just an epitome or an example of how what we find in government. And so I think I'll throw my weight behind her to go ahead and make that to come to life.
All right, many thanks, Masha, for that. For me, it's really an horrible experience with the fact that you are hearing from them personally. You know, it's another thing for you to put something in, put something to pen. You know, put your thoughts to pen. But it's another thing for you to, you know, verbally listen to the pain. You know, and I feel that, you know, the affected family right said yes, like she has actually put it that it was a near-death experience.
Yes.
You know, I had a personal conversation with the affected family, like I said now, and you know, yes, let me put it out there also, they're also part of the sponsors of this platform. The fact that, you know, they are very close to me. You know, sometimes listening to something happening to your sister or your brother, your father, you know, it brings it home. You kind of feel the pain more and the agony that they are going through. And for me, I just feel that I felt the trauma from them, you know, with all that they went through. Imagine I don't know how to put this, you know, I just feel that Nigerians have failed on you know, the actions and the incompetence of some Nigerians. Sometimes they do not understand how it can affect everyone. You know, coming back from a holiday with a clean head, so to speak, a fanciful vacation, you know, memories, and of course only to be ruined by such an accident, you know, or incident, you know, going back home. This happens to Nigerians on a daily basis. Is the fact that we are people, you know, that I feel that we have the voice to lend to air our opinions and the likes, and as far as I'm concerned, we have great people and good ambassadors of Nigeria in diaspora, only to return home to get killed sometimes, only to return home to hear that they are being kidnapped, only to return home that they are being, you know, all sort of ills, you know, injured, or, you know, it ends in bad stories because of all our systematic problems and some of the challenges and the fact that people have bad attitude to doing things, you know. And I want to bring this quickly to a conclusion with the fan. I feel that fan has been called out on this, and they can continue to have a death trap at the airport as far as I'm concerned. But there are certain times that you do certain things to some people, you have to be held accountable. And I feel that, you know, this must not go under the carpet, if you ask me. You know, you know, we hide under the lie that, oh, it was service last week, which was you know, it's a lie. We all know that. And I feel that only God knows how many would have been injured from short escalator and would still be affected when all of this was posted on different platforms. You can hear people sharing different experiences and the other. So I'm using my platform actually right now, you know, to call on the airport authorities to replace this escalator and attend to the family of the injured swiftly. I mean, professionally attend to them. You know, sometimes we want to put sentiment and add one or two whatever and post it on social media. People are seeing social media as a place of, you know what, once I apologize to you publicly, it has ended there. So I'm calling out on the immigration and the security officials at the airport to raise the bar of their duties and responsibilities. I feel that their responsibility have been thrown under the carpet. They can't be around and we'll be having all sorts of paramedics, you know, bringing first aid after 40 minutes. And I'm wondering, quite a number of things could have happened. It's not a nice thing. It doesn't sound professional as far as I'm concerned. We can do better. We need to start doing better. And we need to start understanding that your own character can affect thousands of Nigerians. I think on this note, this is where we draw the curtains of the show. Again, many thanks to our guests. It was indeed an awesome show. Courtesy our resourceful guest. Dr. Festus, I don't know if you can comment on this in 30 seconds.
It's unfortunate what happened to the traveler. I also appeal to you I also appeal to the various state governments to renovate some of the public schools and public facilities we use as polling units, so that we don't have such a mishap during the 2023 election.
All right, many thanks for that. My name is Kike Atanda-Owo. I'm a big kind of one. I don't know. Bye now.
Oh God.